Good morning. People in the group said that they wanted to see tutorials about flocking, which I've got the stuff coming for because my glue had all dried up, but also about how to sculpt body parts for customs or for restorations. So I thought I would just do a quick video this morning with some of the supplies that you can get and what the differences are between them, just to start off with. So things that I've used already, you've got green stuff, which is really meant for like those tiny little, I can't think of the right word, but there's like little metal models that look like Warhammer and stuff. So you mix the two parts together and it makes a green sort of putty. It dries very, very hard and it's good for little details, but it's super expensive if you want to do like loads of sculpting. So fine for tiny bits, paints up well, but it is probably the most expensive. We have used that for, this is one of B's customs that's in progress. So this here is epoxy, but this green stuff is green stuff. So she's used it to make the vines. You can see how much detail you can get, and texture and things in there. So that's quite cool for little bits. And you can get that from model shops or all of this from Amazon. The other thing we've used is Sugru, which is a mouldable glue. It's like a putty. Again, it comes in very small packets. It dries in air, same as green stuff. It's very flexible, a bit like sort of gum, I suppose, and it doesn't dry as hard. So I used that for, I think, probably the back of one of these, this cape, or one of those things. It doesn't dry as hard, you can't really sand it down, but it's quite good for small bits. You can get it in lots of different colours, you don't necessarily have to paint it. The one that probably people know is Epoxy Sculpt. This is not an expensive version of it. This was just, I don't know, £15 on Amazon, so I don't know if it's actually any good. It's our first time using it. Again, you mix the two parts together to make a thing that then hardens over time. It does depend, like it's really cold in here at the moment, so it takes a long time for that to dry. That's what Bea's used for these vines up the legs. You can hear from tapping it, it's super hard. I couldn't wash it off of the tile that I use. It's like concrete once it dries. You can sand it, you can paint it, you can sculpt it. We've had a little bit of trouble sort of keeping it on the pony. So if you're trying to mend, say, a nose or a foot, I've had trouble getting that to actually stick to the pony enough to make it a thing. Which hasn't used it on that one, but we're only just experimenting with that. Milliput I've used a lot. This is the super fine. It's just a finer grade. It used to be that the normal grade was quite a lot cheaper, and we used to use that for big bits, but at the moment the super fine is about the same price. I think it's like about £5 for a pack of that on Amazon. Again, it's two parts. You mix it together. They're both white, which isn't particularly useful. You mix equal parts. If you don't mix equal parts, it doesn't dry, as I found out on one of my ponies, and it's a real pain to do it again. So you can weigh it if you're funny like that, or you can measure it, whatever, do it by eye. We've used milliput on this one. This is one of B's. So this sort of greeny colour is the standard grade milliput. As I say, that used to be cheaper. Dries hard, you can sculpt it, you can sand it, you can paint it. This white stuff here is the fine grade. It's just a bit smoother. Quite like working with both. I found the normal grade was slightly less messy to work with, whereas the white does tend to sort of get white everywhere and you have to sort of keep it quite clean. So that's milliput. It's not a huge amount of money. I think that was £5 or £6 on Amazon. And then this, which we haven't tried yet, is air dry Fimo. I'll let you know how that goes. Who knows? I thought it was probably worth a try for some of the bits. That's white. Again, you can paint it. It dries by itself. You don't need to bake it. So these are some of the ponies we've done with those things. I think this one, the detail on that was, this was Fimo that I baked. So the other sort of Fimo you can oven bake, and you can bake onto ponies. You can bake onto G4s, and they do survive the baking process. I've never baked onto a G1 because I just feel a bit like about that. This was milliput. All these details, you can see it's painted up okay. You can get some quite good little details in there on the milliput. I really like milliput. The ears, they're all milliput. This one, so this sorting hat on Pinkie Pie, that's Fimo, oven baked. So I think I baked that separately and stuck it on her head. I don't know. Oh no, I didn't, because her hair is Fimo as well. I obviously just did the whole thing and stuck her in the oven. She survived. Sometimes their heads go a bit floppy, but you're not baking at massively high temperatures. you maybe shouldn't bake it in an oven that you're then going to eat food from. You might want a little separate Fimo oven. This one's quite interesting. This is an old one of bees, and you can see the texture of this. It's sort of foamy, and it's air dry sort of foam clay. It's still bendy. It does break, you can rip it, but actually that painting survived quite well, and it does come in lots of different colours, so if you're not up for doing loads of painting and sculpting, that's quite fun, not very hardy. And this is one of bees. She's not quite sure, but she thinks that's milliput, and I think that's what we had at the time. So she's milliputed the wings and the scales on the head and all of that, and then painted around it. Again, that's really hard, and it's not going anywhere. It looks like a thing. So that's those. Out of all of those, we'd probably use milliput the most because it's more accessible, and it's cheaper than the epoxy. I thought the epoxy might be able to get more detail in, but so far I haven't done anything that needs that, but that's what I'll be doing today. Oh, hang on, this gentleman's got a head as well. This has got them both on it, so wobble the camera. This is the head to what will be that body. This is one of bees, and you can see this is the white milliput here. She's used it for like the dragony lip. She also does fluffy stuff around the same things as we're covered in fur. She's used milliput for that, and then this is all epoxy, the grey. Let's actually set. No, it's not, I'm lying. That's epoxy here. This grey stuff is Sugru, which is the first stuff we talked about. This is white Sugru, but this was obviously what she had. And you can see it's got some bend to it. Actually, I really like that. I have to get some more. So it's not going anywhere, but it's just got a little bit of flexibility like a pony body would have, rather than being like concrete like that and the milliput. So they're the things we've tried. I'm happy to do a comparison between the prices and the sort of pros and cons of each one. And I'm happy to show you what I do. I'm going to experiment with the Fimo later today. I already know that I really like the milliput, and it's heavy is the only trouble with that. I did try getting some air dry clay that's just white and sort of foamy, but oh my god, I'll show you that. This is terrible. This was just, I had a headless, I was just testing. You can see it's flexible. You can sort of squish it and it comes back out again. But it rips really easily, and it kind of sags as you're moulding it. So it's cheap and it's light, and it's probably good for cosplay and masks and stuff like that. This is a wing I made out of it. And it's okay probably for parts that you're going to stick on, but it's not okay for sculpting a whole thing. I got it because it was like the cheapest thing, and B wanted it for something else anyway. So yeah, any questions about that, let me know. Any of these you particularly want to see. All of these I would wear gloves, and if you're sanding stuff like that, I would certainly wear a mask. It's not particularly nice stuff. The Fimo says it's all natural, or 95% natural, but I don't know. Obviously the epoxy you need to wear gloves for and be a bit careful, and also it really does stick to things, so you know, you have to keep it quite clean. Okay, let me know which of those you'd like to see first or more of, and I shall do that.